Imagine, if you will, a teenager so desperate to hide his failing grades that he hires an actor to play his dad. Yes, you've entered the world of Zack Morris, the realm where responsibility is a foreign concept and harebrained schemes are the order of the day. Now let's delve into the crux of the issue. Zack, our protagonist, is not doing well at school. In fact, he's failing. And not just a bit, but spectacularly. The kind of failing that makes teachers want to sit down with your parents. And that's exactly what Mr. Belding, the principal, wants to do. The very thought sends shivers down Zack's spine, conjuring images of parental disappointment and grounded weekends. But does Zack study harder, pull up his socks, and face the music? Oh no, that would be way too sensible for our young hero. Instead, he concocts a plan so absurd that it could only exist in the mind of Zack Morris. He decides to hire an actor to play his father. Yes, you heard that right, an actor. Because why face your problems when you can just put on a show? This plan, as ridiculous as it may sound, is a testament to Zack's determination. Or perhaps it's a testament to his utter lack of common sense. Maybe it's a bit of both. Regardless, it shows just how far Zack is willing to go to avoid facing his responsibilities. So, will Zack's plan work? Well, considering this is Zack Morris we're talking about, you can probably guess the answer. Now let's move on to the carnival, or as I like to call it, the perfect setting for a Zack Morris disaster. While the rest of the gang is busy hustling and bustling, setting up stalls, games, and rides, all with the noble goal of raising funds for a school ski trip, our dear friend Zack Morris is off on his own little planet. His primary concern, not the ski trip or the success of the carnival, but how to dodge the impending meeting with his dad and Mr. Belding. Now you'd think he'd use this time to maybe study, improve his grades, or prepare to face the music. But nope. True to form, Zack's solution is as ridiculous as it is hilarious. He decides to hire an actor to play his dad. Yes, you heard that right. Rather than owning up to his mistakes, he'd rather orchestrate this elaborate charade. But here's the cherry on top of this comedic sundae. In the midst of the lively carnival filled with laughter and camaraderie, the inevitable happens. The real Mr. Morris, the actor playing Mr. Morris, and Mr. Belding find themselves in the same vicinity. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion. You know it's going to be bad, but you can't look away. This whole fiasco underscores Zack's selfishness and his complete lack of foresight. He's so wrapped up in his own world he fails to consider the consequences of his actions. The ramifications are not just on him, but also on his friends who are working hard to make the carnival a success. His antics threaten to overshadow their efforts and derail their plans, and yet, in a twisted way, it's almost impressive. Zack seems to have a knack for turning the simplest of situations into a chaotic whirlwind. It's like he's got a Midas touch, but instead of turning things into gold, he turns them into, well, trash. Once again, Zack's plans have spiraled out of control. But hey, at least he's consistent, right? Now let's get to the heart of the matter, why Zack Morris is trash. You see, our dear friend Zack Morris, in a desperate bid to avoid facing the consequences of his failing grades, concocts this harebrained scheme of hiring an actor to play his father. Now, in a world that makes sense, this would be the moment where Zack learns a valuable lesson about honesty and responsibility. But this is the world of Zack Morris, where sense and sensibility are as rare as Zack's A+ assignments. Zack's plan is a masterclass in deception, a symphony of lies that might even impress a seasoned con artist. But it's also a glaring testament to Zack's lack of responsibility. Instead of owning up to his academic struggles, Zack chooses to orchestrate an elaborate ruse, one that's doomed to fail from the start. And fail it does, spectacularly so, when the real Mr. Morris and Mr. Belding run into each other at the carnival. The look of shock on their faces, priceless. The fallout from Zack's disastrous plan, well, not so priceless. You see, in the grand tradition of Zack Morris, his actions lead to disaster for everyone involved. But does Zack learn his lesson from this debacle? Of course not! That would require a level of self-awareness and maturity that our boy Zack is sorely lacking. Instead, he shrugs it off, ready to dive into his next ill-advised scheme, leaving the rest of us to marvel at his audacity and shake our heads at his antics. So there you have it, another episode, another disaster courtesy of Zack Morris. Remember kids, don't be like Zack. Face your responsibilities head-on, or you might end up hiring an actor to play your dad at a school carnival. And trust me, that never ends well.